G'day trendsetters, this is unPAved PA of the Susquehanna River Valley, a premier gravel ride covering 120 miles of raw forest, mountain, valley and farm roads in central Pennsylvania. Taking place on October 14, 2018, around 600 riders contested three distances, the half, the plenty and the full. I didn't take a train or drive my vehicle from Florida to shortcut this event, so I was in for the ultra-tough full route. Everybody rolled neutral along the Buffalo Valley Rail Trail before taking this right-hand turn, which signifies the race was on. The early miles of pavement were ridden at a steady tempo, but if you ordinarily live in a flatter part of the world, these roller hills could see you in difficulty. As it was, I yo-yoed from the front to the back of the lead group several times, once even leading the race briefly, mostly as an opportunity to get some primo footage. This part of Pennsylvania features a mix of gravel roads from tabletop smooth to gnarly rocky sections, but more on that later in the video. My objective was to hang in the front bunch as long as possible, but without going into the red zone. Coming along behind me is Celine Yeager, aka the Fit Chick. Celine is local to the area and knows these roads like the back of her hand. I was gapped momentarily during one of the countless hills that proliferate this area, but the real damage came on a road I refer to as Paris-Roubaix Road. This road starts off nice enough, but due to the number of riders and obstacles that you'll see in a moment, the bunch was torn to pieces. This road definitely has everything and eventually leads to the base of a serious climb. It was everyone for themselves on the climb, which further decimated the bunch. This course favours good climbers, but those who can descend can make up some serious inroads. Without doubt, the descents of unPAved are my favourite element of the course, and the marvellous scenery. In this scene is Pete Backen, one of the photographers, and this is his resulting photograph. The descents are absolutely flat out in places, but you have to exercise caution, particularly if you cross the crown of the road. I rode with these lads for a short while, but their tempo was a wee bit hard for me at this juncture, so I let them ride away. Even the paved roads in this area are beautiful. In this scene, I'm passing through the town of Woodward, Pennsylvania. Amish buggies are a common sight in this area. If you're driving a car, the next left leads to a no-through road, but on a bicycle, this is a steep gravel climb followed by an equally steep descent. But at least there is some nice scenery to look at whilst you creep uphill. The bottom of the climb leads to a former railway line that is now a trail of sorts. There was plenty of standing water from recent rain, so there's a good chance you'll get dirty. This trail leads to a bridge over Penns Creek and an aid station, complete with a beer shortcut. In this shot is Abe of Firespire Photography, and here's the photograph he took. Consuming that tasty ale opened up the tunnel shortcut to me, which isn't really much of a shortcut. I hike-a-biked much of the tunnel and mostly got my feet wet. We're about to scale another tough climb that I didn't film, followed by another fast ascent with a very sharp hairpin turn at the bottom. What I didn't film was the aid station at Poe Paddy State Park. This is where the 120-mile race differed from the 90-mile distance. The 120-mile races faced an extra credit loop of 30 miles with 4 serious climbs, including a very tricky, rocky climb and equally rocky descent. This descent favoured those with bigger tyres. I didn't capture it on video, but I was passed by several riders as I tiptoed down this rocky descent. With the worst of the descending out of the way, there is still a long way to ride with plenty of tough climbing. The ratio of climbing to descending is about even, which is a good thing, especially if you love descending. This is Lincoln Stewart, and we rode together until passing through the Poe Paddy checkpoint for the second and final time. Descending can be dangerous and you have to pick the right line. Unfortunately, this rider got his line very wrong and crashed, but thankfully he was relatively okay and did make it to the next checkpoint. However, I don't know if he finished the race. Here I'm riding flat out with Lincoln, working together towards the Poe Paddy checkpoint. In this scene, we pull into the checkpoint for the second time and some much needed chow. On the road again, and this time through a former railway tunnel. This former railway line was one of the flatter sections of the course, with a beautiful river on the right side to gaze upon. More climbing leads to more descending, and in this scene, a bloke walking his bike. Laying ahead is the second to last rest stop on the course with beer, but I was motivated to finish the race before 5 PM, but thanks to all of those who yelled out a cheerio as I rode on by. This is the final descent of unPAved, which descends down to quiet paved farm roads near Mifflinburg, Pennsylvania. final 9 miles are the Buffalo Valley Rail Trail. Despite having knackered legs, I felt reasonably strong, especially considering this was the flattest part of the course and suitable for a bloke who resides most of the year in Florida. And that be the finish line, which concludes the video. Thank you for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the Gravel Cyclist YouTube channel, and don't forget to click the bell button to enable notifications.